Hi again, friends, and welcome to Inside Michigan Hockey from the new and improved Yost Ice Arena. The Wolverines are now on the ice here at Yost, chance to practice before they open the season Sunday. The Blue-White Alumni Game, a special event this year. We'll have more on that with head coach Red Berenson coming up a little bit later here on Inside Michigan Hockey. But first, let's take a look at this Wolverine team themselves. Phil DiGiuseppe was on fire at the start of his freshman season, scoring early and often. But he had a scoring slump near midseason and quickly learned how to handle adversity at the collegiate level.
Just focus defensively when things aren't working offensively, like Coach says, and not to get frustrated or focus on things, and just go out there and play.
Phil finished his rookie campaign, scoring 9 points in the final 8 games of the season.
That's the main thing I got to work on, is just bring that play the whole year and just be consistent, and I hope things will work out like that.
Phil is a 2012 second-round draft pick of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes, and he knows the role he needs to play this year for the Wolverines.
You're not a freshman anymore, so there's higher expectations. Coaches expect more from you, your teammates, so I'm ready for that, and we'll just see how things go this year.
And there's a lot to talk about with Michigan hockey with the head coach Red Berenson, and we will get to all that's coming up for the Wolverines, including the new building and how the players are reacting to it. But we just heard from Phil DiGiuseppe. We saw some high-end play from him last year. How good can he be?
Well, I think he can be really good, Doug. He can be a special player. He's got skill, talent. He's got the will to play the game. He loves the game. I don't think there's ever been a great player in any game that didn't love to play. And he's one of those kids he's like a rink rat. He would be here all day if we didn't have school.
Well, let's talk about what you'd like to see to make that jump in his sophomore year to be an elite player.
Well, I'd like to see him finish his plays. That means put his chances in. You know, he had a lot of good chances last year that maybe he didn't bear down on, or he didn't have any puck luck. But I'd like to see him finish on those chances. And then I'd like to see him contribute to his line as being a prolific line. You know, he's had to play, he's a young player, and he's had to play against other teams' top lines and a lot of older, stronger, bigger players. But I think he's ready for that. This will be a good test for him this year.
All right, so the players are now on the ice here at Yost. It just went in. You still have the smell of paint in the air and the carpets being laid down. How have the players responded?
Well, they love it. I mean, they can't believe the difference, and I can't either, really. I mean, the ice is the same, but it's like skating in a new rink. It's brighter, it's lighter, it's newer, and with the light coming in from the windows, it's amazing the difference.
I imagine that it gives them a little extra jump in their step. They get just so excited to be here that they're probably skating like they're going to take off.
Well, they are. I mean, we've only been on the ice here a couple of times now, and I think every time they come down, they look and wow, you know, this is really something, and it is. And so the people that really designed this and okayed this and supported this, they got their money's worth.
All right, Coach. Probably the biggest story with your team this year is having to replace Sean Hunwick. You've been with the team for just literally hours. Do you have any idea what you're going to have between the pipes this year, between your 3 goals?
No, it's really early to say. I mean, we know Janicek coming back has had a little bit of experience. He's a junior now, and he's been practicing at this level for 2 years. And so we know that he has a chance of being a backup or a starter. And we recruited Jared Rutledge, to be our starter. And so we'll see how that works out. Rutledge has yet to face a shot because when he got his eye tested, they had to change his contacts, and he hasn't got the new contact. He'll get it tomorrow. So he's doubtful for the weekend. We'll see, but right now he's doubtful. So we'll see what we have in him. But I think he's going to be a good goalie. And then another freshman, Steve Racine. Racine he's a little older than Rutledge, 2 years older, and he's a player that has got a little more experience, and he could definitely give us some depth. He could be our backup. He could be a starter as well. So, no, and we've got 4 goalies. We've got Luke Dwyer, and I want to mention Luke because he's a local kid. He was our 3rd goalie last year, just like Hunwick was for 2 years and never got to play, but you never know.
I was going to say, we've learned not to count anybody out. If you're going to ask for one thing when you're breaking in a new goalie, it might be to have a strong defense. And when I look at your blue liners, I don't think there's any doubt that's the strength of your team.
I think we've got you're right. I think our defense we're experienced, we're strong, and I think we've got depth on defense. So I really like our defense. And, you know, we only lost 1 defenseman, but he was a warrior, Greg Pattern. He was the nucleus of our defense. But with Merrill, and with Mafi as a senior, and Claire and Bennett. I mean, and young Trouba. I mean, there's 4 as good as any in the league, and then we've got 4 more that are right there with them.
All right, Coach, the fans will get a chance to be in the new Yost 4 times over a 5-day span. It starts with the Blue-White alumni game, it's now called. You're going to have some former players playing with your guys in an exhibition here on Sunday.
Well, it's an opportunity for us to invite some players back with this lockout, Doug, and so players like Jack Johnson, Matt Hunwick, Mike Knuble has played 15 or some years pro or more. I mean, these guys are legitimate NHL players that were all prominent players here. Andy Hilbert will play, and there might be 1 or 2 more. Matt Rust is going to play, who just played for us last year. He's back in graduate school. So it's good. We'll have some former players, but it really gives our fans a chance to see our new players and our new team and our new building.
What a great challenge for the new kids, too. Their eyes are probably already wide with the new Yost, and then to look down and see a Mike Knuble or trying on a rush get around a Jack Johnson is going to be crazy for those kids.
Well, it'll be good, and it'll be a good measuring stick for them to realize, wow, this is how good you have to be to play at the next level.
And, of course, that game's on Sunday, then an exhibition next week against the University of Windsor. And if I recall correctly, you guys never used to lose those exhibitions, and now those teams are starting to challenge you a little.
Well, there's no question about that. But back to the Blue-White alumni game, where he's having a skate with the Wolverines right after that, and then the American League hockey exhibition game with Luke Glendening, hopefully playing for Grand Rapids against the Colorado American League team. So you'll see some real good hockey here on Sunday. And our game starts at 4:50, and then after the skate with the Wolverines, 7 o'clock, the puck drops for the American League game. Then we play Tuesday against Windsor. We lost our game last year, if you remember, first time in 25 years. And then Thursday and Friday we play RIT, and they were in the Final Four 2 years ago. So we've got our hands full next week.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
Good. Thank you, Doug.
Well, the ice went into Yost Ice Arena last Thursday. It cured over the weekend, and the Wolverines were able to step onto the new Yost Ice on Monday. I imagine it wasn't hard to get the Wolverines to show up for captain's practices, given their enthusiasm for the new building. The coaches are allowed half an hour a day leading up to this weekend.
It's unbelievable. It's so bright there. You can see everything. We've only skated during the day, but the windows look great, and just it's unbelievable.
It's bright, really nice. Feels bigger. The ice surface is still the same, great ice. The bleachers really help the color contrast with the puck, so it's a bit different there. Just getting used to it. We've only been on it once, so it's been good so far.
It feels like Yost, but at the same time, you can notice the differences. It's really bright, and it just feels great to be back at Yost compared to being at the Cube, so I'm really happy.
And that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Michigan Hockey. Don't forget, Blue-White alumni game on Sunday. We'll have highlights here on mgoblue.com following that contest. The Tuesday exhibition game with Windsor. Again, more highlights here on MGO Blue. And then the 2 games with RIT. Highlights on mgoblue.com. We'll see you next week.